All right, let's see if this holds out. So, like, usually, like week to week, you like when I do the scouting reports and stuff, we're trying to figure out like what's minimum score and what do we need to pick up in this tournament. So, like looking at the qualifying round, if the math worked out this way, and I'm not saying that it does, but if it did, so I was just trying to tank my round. So, but what got in? Is anybody with less than 12 gonna get in? We still got some people left to go, so I'm really thinking it might be 13 to get in, and nothing less with a 15, 14, and a bunch of 13. So the way that it works, let's get our pen working here. We have 10 brackets of 20 or 200 people, right? And 100 of them go on. And there's another, on the other side of the fence over here, there's another bracket of 200 people in 10 groups of 20 that will end up producing 100 players. And then half of these players will make it to the weekend round, and half of these players will make it to the weekend round, and we get 100 people on the weekend. So it starts off with 400 players. So if you think about it, just making it to the weekend round, you're in the top 25% of all the players that play in Golf Clash if you make it to the weekend round. And if you can be in the top 10 or top 5, or like where you're at, what. So if you really want to try and work your way up, and you're new and you're just trying to, the deal is, if you're new, this is the way the game works. The game wants you to rush up to the top and wants you to be up here. So if you're an experienced player, you can do that. You can start a new account and you can rush it up. The bigger the chest, the bigger the tour, and that you're playing, the bigger the chest, and you're going to be able to upgrade your cards a lot faster. Or you can slow play it, and you can start off, you can go up to like Tour 7 and then play from Tour 7 down. The cool thing about playing from Tour 7 down is you can always get live opponents. Once you start going to Tour 8, 9, 10, then you're getting out of the range, out of the deal. But we start off with 400 people, so like trying to get better results week to week. But let's think about what we should have. So let's say that was true, and we have 10 brackets of 20, and those 10 brackets are going to make up a group of 100. So what we should expect to see in the group of 100, we have 115 up here at the top, and let's just say this is how it holds. We have 115 at the top. We should expect to see 10 15s coming in, and we had 114. We got 10 14s, and then everybody else in the bracket shot a 13. I mean, everybody else, like the whole brackets, like there's the difference between the bottom guy and the top guy is 2 shots, and it's not that much, and minimum score is -12. So I mean, just maintaining minimum score is not going to cut it. There's one of these holes we have to pick up. We'll see it how the week goes on, but I'm sure that everybody's going to be, so like my bet would be that in the weekend round that you'd have to shoot a 16 plus in order to like have a banner or be in consideration where they would interview you when you walk off the green. But if you came in with a 30 in a full round, maybe as the week goes on, conditions can change. Right now it seemed like it was pretty favorable out there today, but we might, as the week goes on, the conditions might change and shit might work out different. Never can tell. All right, there you have it. Just, I was sitting here, I was watching video, trying to work out a note sheet, and thought I'd shoot a bonus round. Thanks for watching. Alright, I have to be like Paul Harvey for all of you that remember the rest of the story. So I shot that video, and then I got done and I watched it, and then I was like, well shit, man, what we should have done is see where they picked them up. So hole number 1's par 4, they picked that one up, and that one is pick-upable. Let's look at hole number 1. Hole number 1 I think is a very pick-upable hole. Let's see if there's a gimme here, like one we have to pick up. That's definitely one we have to pick up. We really do have to pick this one up. It is pretty easy to get out here, and I think the old pin placement is more towards this edge, so it's a shorter pitch than it is to this one. Now there is a rough bump that you can do from here. Now, I think on either one of these shots you got to hit them perfect. And on my notes, it's just, I'm just adding on a little bit to the cup. That might be one. That might be one we have to pick up. Hole number 2 is a par 3. He didn't pick up that one. Hole number 3 is a par 5. Hole number 4, that par 4, he picked up that one as well. Hole number 4. Yeah, and this is another par 4 that we can easily pick up. It's almost in the same distance range on the second shot as the last hole. And I think I was in the right spot here and I missed it. I'll have to go back and watch this video. I can't remember what I did on that, but I'm pretty sure I missed it. I don't think I've made any of those shots. I think I've been close. But that is another hole right there. We definitely want to work out our shot here. The thing on this hole right here is that this is a hole that if you bring out the right stuff and quit pussyfooting around. So like if you have it in your inventory, this is a hole you have to use it on. Like a 4-side spin ball works better. And I don't think you need anything more than a 3 power ball. Maybe. Just depends on your clubs. You might want to bring out a power 4 ball just to make sure that you can always work out wind so you can set yourself up in the same spot. I think if you don't have whatever driver you have that has the most curl. Now I think I'm using an APOC there, and with a power 3 ball I'm close to the red line, so you may have to bring out a bigger power ball if you was to bring out a big topper to get into that spot. But whatever club you have that has the most curl, that's the club you want to try and get into that spot if you got the ball inventory. That's definitely a hole we want to focus on this week. My whole game has been predicated on really trying to be close. It's much more likely that I will make an eagle here if I am right here just doing the pitch than if I'm over here hitting the shot. And it's not that I can't hit this shot. It's that you have to take the shot. You'll have to adjust for the wind. It's going to be affected, especially on days when we had this kind of wind, and now it's got side wind, and now we got tailwind, and it's going to be affected. Whereas this shot right here may or may not be affected by the wind, but it's not going to be affected very much. I have a much higher percentage of making this than this, but it's getting to this spot that's the issue. One shot at a time. One shot at a time. All right, that hole is definitely a hole we can make. Hole number 5, you got to get. Hole number 5 is a par 3. He made that one. Hole number 5. Yeah, and that hole right there is definitely a hole that we can make. I think there's several of the par 3s here. Hole number 2. We got a great rough bump opportunity on this with the newer pin placement. Hole number 3 we already looked at. We got a great opportunity here. We have multiple ways to go at it. So I haven't been bringing out the right ball to get me up into this area. You can get out over to here with a power 3 ball, I think, on any day where the wind's on our side of the fence. But if the wind is coming at us in any direction, it may be more... we're definitely going to lose distance off the end. I was trying to start way down here instead of... I see a lot of people on this hole right here, and today I think I did some shots like this too, where you can go straight at it. If you bring out a big topper, your red line's like in this area, and you can try and bridge the gap, and you're going a little bit straighter, just trying to run it out as far as you can. With an APOC, and I think with an APOC, if you start down here a little bit more, your second bounce, it gives you the opportunity to put more curl on it to try and get it so that it's going up the range. I want to get right here and take that shot. Now I think if you get right here, right up against the edge right here, you still got the rough bump open to you, and that might be the absolute best way to go at it. Because there is a rough bump, because I've been out here in this plane where the rough bump was the best way to go. And I believe that from this range out here, it's long iron. And so it took a Goliath to get to that spot, I believe. Okay, we got a great opportunity there. There's got to be a hole, like those 2 par 4s we looked at are pretty close to gimmies. Like you got to make at least one of those per round. That gives you the 13. I mean, that might be where the 13's coming from. It's not that there's one hole that's a gimme, it's that there's 2 holes that you got to make one of them. And it's going to be a huge deal to make both of them in a round. And the rest of these holes you have great opportunities on. But I think those are the 2 crux holes. We have this hole right here. If we've got one that's on our side of the fence, there is where you can rough bump it off of this and try and go up the range. I think I came out here the last time we played this hole, and I did bring out a topspin boost ball, and I think it is possible to get up in here. But I'm not going to swear to that. I think I was in the sand once where I was trying to clip that corner, and I was more going in this plane when I came out, trying to hit the rough here and bleed out, instead of along the lane that would actually take me down this fairway. So I'm not sure how far down I've got, but I have been right out in front many times, and there's a great shot from there. What hole is this? Hole number 6. I'm doing plus 20 right now, but I'm still working on that shot, so I have no idea. I got to get that. Once I get into 77, I'm going to try and play 77 tonight, and we'll see. Hole number 7. This par 4 right here is kind of the mixed bag. So if depending on what you bring out, you can rough bump along this range, trying to bring it out anywhere from, like the neck, and this is going to be your normal landing zone. This really is going to be your normal landing zone. What I'm looking for when I look at it, especially with the new pin placement, I think the new pin placement's kind of like right in there. So if you draw a line along it from the sand and you're coming over here, I want to be on this side of the line, so that I can try and, if you got a ball that's got side spin, that way I can set up off of this sand like 5 rings off to pull me out here into the fairway. I can pick a consistent spot, and then I can use side spin to bring me around to the cup and try and standardize it. But if you hit over in here, now you're over the sand, and now you got to use backspin in order to get it to stop at the cup. And I'm not sure that that's bad in this situation because I haven't taken that shot, but in the original configuration, this isn't a good place to be. It's better to be out here to try and clear it. In the original configuration, you need to be further out here. And you can do that with a bigger power ball where you're hitting up in this area and you're trying to bleed it out into that. But I usually try and get to right here. I mean, if you draw the arc from the cup to that spot and it's pretty flat, you'd have to get into the peninsula over here. And there is a rough bump that you can do off of this. It's difficult. I've been in the rough more times than I've been on the fairway, but I think consistently I've made more from the rough and the fairway on this side than I have anytime I've tried to hit from over here. But this isn't a gimme. But we do have a great opportunity, and I really think if you can just pick a consistent spot out here. In one-on-one play, you come out here and you don't try and get around the bend. You come up into this area and you bounce the ball over so that you got a straight line to the cup. But I think with the new pin placement's more like on this part of the green. So if you hit it over into this area, you'd have to bring it around the sand. No gimme though. Number 8. Man, that's another great par 3. These par 3s are awesome. Hole number 9. Now we do have a great opportunity, and I can tell you from just screwing up a few times and being out in the middle areas, like going to the new pin placement, which is behind the tree, you got to hit it way in the hell up there to get past the tree where you don't have to do the second bounce rough bump by the tree in order to go to the cup. And I'm sure with the topspin boost ball that you can get up into that area, but I think you're going to have to damn near get up into the shadow. It's that far around the bend because the old pin placement's like right here and the new pin placement's like right here. And so drawing a line across straight across from it, I mean literally you need to be up in the shadow in order to clear the tree. And that clears the rough where you can hit just going straight at it, and damn, I don't know if you can get up that far. Maybe. There's ways to do it. If you had it, and there's also clubs to do it too, so just depending on your clubs, I'm sure you can get up into that area. I'm sure of it. No gimmies, but I do think that those 2 par 4s, so let's see what let me see what my opponents made, the ones that shot the scores. See what the one that shot the 14 made. And the 13s, we'll see what hole was consistently the one that they made. Would it be 1 or 4? I think it's 1 or 4 every time. We will go in and check it out. Okay, so the 15's there, the 14. They got 1. They also got 5, that par 3. Those are the 2 they picked up. My first opponent picked up 1, 4, those 2, and then they picked up 1 other one. The par 5, or the par 3, hole number 5. This person picked up 1, they dropped 1, and they picked up, so they picked up 2. They picked up an Albie. That's why they're in 3rd. Hole number 4. Let's see how many hole number 4s. Oh, we got somebody that picked up a par 3. Got a hole-in-1. That right there is the deal. Is like getting those ones down so that on the days that you're really playing, those par 4s, like you're sinking the par 4s, you're getting those eagles. So that when you get those hole-in-1s, that's the one shot that won the tournament for you. The rest of it, you just played the way you were supposed to play. So like getting both of those par 4s each time, whatever ball it takes, to make it easier on yourself, so that all you have to do is just pull it back and hit it perfect. Try and set the shot up so you can hit it great to the left or the right, or perfect, and it still goes to the spot. Perfect. El perfecto. Hole number 2, another par 3. Hole number 4. Hole number 4 seems, of the 2 par 4s, I think it's the one. Hole number 1, I say that, and then hole number 1 pops up. Hole number 4. Oh, they got a 12. All right, so I think those are the 2 holes that we really want to focus on, because we're going to have to pick those up, and what we want is we really want to pick both of them up. And this hole right here is all about ball selection. So whatever it takes to get up into this area. It seemed like when I was here, I was, because of, let's pull back where we can see if we draw a line from this sand to the tee box. So if you're trying to set up down here, you're on that side of the sand, so that means you need the shot to come to the left in order to go up here. But where you really want it when it's at the end is you want it to be closer on the right. So if you brought out a ball that had topspin boost, you may not actually be hitting it any farther forward, so it doesn't necessarily have to be a bigger ball. You could set up, instead of being down here with your red line and then trying to curl it around in order to get this extra distance, you can start off a little bit farther back where you're straighter. You got that extra top spin, and just trying to stay in that plane to keep it so that you can, because the distance that you lose between that trajectory and that trajectory, so if your ball ended up here, if your ball ended up here, this is run it up wedge, this is mid wedge. If you run it out, it's mid, or if you run a little bit of backspin, it's at max. And this is a much higher percentage shot. And so by bringing out, you may bring out a bigger topspin ball, and instead of doing the same shot you're doing where you're setting it up this far down, you can get a better trajectory if you pull it back a little bit and use the topspin to help you out down here. See what I'm saying? All right. I really think that is a hole, and I think if you brought out the right ball, you could set it up so that it wouldn't matter which way the wind was blowing. You could just set it up into that spot. It'd be really nice if we could set it up into that spot with a big topper, because everybody's got a big topper and it's got a lot of topspin. I would say you'd probably have to bring out a bigger power ball, just to make sure that you could pick the right spot. But topspin boost would be the deal, even if it was a 3 power ball. Even if hole number 4, what are our advantages? What do we need to have as an advantage on hole number 4? I'm doing the shot going around the bend. Now, consistency wise, I think if you can get out here, there is a great shot, and there's a rough bump going up. You can either go at it or you can rough bump at it, and it's absolutely freaking T rough bump. Now, I did get to the right, to the spot where I'm hitting. That's about as far up there as I can get, and it's like right up into this area. And if you got into this area, I am as far as arc inside, and it was probably like a ring set. So I think here, if I was here, I could stretch it out, and I was at like mid wedge. But here I might have been at like max. All right, we have a great opportunity on this hole, because I know with a 4 side spin ball, and I only use 3 side spins today, but with a 4 side spin ball, instead of putting on 2 3/4, almost 3 top spin to get me to this spot, since I'm going to be moved over, if I just put on 1 extra side spin instead of 3, I put on 4, and I didn't change my top spin, I'd probably end up in this area. And so now I've opened up the path in front of me to run like right up into this area. I'd like to be somewhere. I'd like to be this little hill, this little divot that's right here is where I'd like to end up, just like roll into that bowl. And you got a straight up shot at it. I'm not trying to push my luck to get to the next one. This one will work just fine. Then we have just a nice straight up shot. These 2 holes right here, I think, like if you looked at all of the holes that are in this, like these 2 holes right here, if you just shot minimum score on all the rest of the holes, but these 2 holes you picked up, you're at 28. Now you're just like working on the 2 other holes, you know, like picking up one of the par 5s or picking up one of the par 3s or catching the wind right or getting a little bit lucky. The force is with me, I won with the force. But these 2 holes right here are the critical part of this particular 4th of July tournament. 1-4. Thanks for watching.